We give our thanks to Yah for, again, another day of life, for another holy Shabbat day. Pray that He will bless the Shabbat day. We're thankful, we're honored to stand before Him and even to ask Him to remember Israel. There are so many things happening in the earth. Coronavirus, pretty soon we might even have to get ready for that. He said we will be delivered in troublesome times. And it's going to get more and more trouble all around. Put your trust in the Most High. Continue to stay aligned with your purpose, and all will be well. Brothers and sisters, let us at this time give glory to the Most High. Thank God for life, for peace. He's our hope, He's our confidence. Again, may the Most High bless our children, bless our community, bless the country, and bless our people. At this time, we're going to begin our session. We're in the book of Exodus, the 27th chapter, beginning the 20th verse. Continue. And what should we note about this portion of our Torah? We're in a section of history in our past where we're now in the wilderness, moving towards the Holy Land of Israel. We've had a couple of months of instructions that's tried to form us into an organized body rather than a mob. And we have people who still have a slave syndrome mind. They're not really free, even though they've been released from the land of Egypt, but they're not really free in terms of their wisdom, their knowledge, and their understanding. We also realized that the Yehovah realized that we needed a central place in our nation. And in the nation of Israel, the house of Yah is that place. That's why He built, even though we were not in a land, He said, let me give them my house in the midst of them so that Yah could be in the midst of us. Many people don't understand what it means when we say Yah dwells in the midst of us. His Spirit dwells in the midst of us. His Spirit is in you. When you have the Spirit of Yah, then everything becomes complete. We have to be aligned with Him spiritually, and as far as our obedience to His covenant, that's our path to get in His favor. He will be with us in our cause if we do what is good and what is right. He's given us the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding how to be a righteous people. That's how you exalt. We have to be united. We have to deal with each other righteously. And we have to deal wisely. Because part of dealing wisely is understanding that you have the guidance from the Most High. He can guide you through any situation. And so, again, having His house, and that's why we've been blessed that we have this place that we can come to. It's the central place for the Israelite community. We know that everything that we do when we go to our homes, this is the place where Yah's name is called upon, and where we have our holy convocations, and where we can get Him to hear us. This is where you want to pray today, and especially on this Shabbat day, about the week to come and all the things to come in the future. You know, prayer is a more powerful weapon than people realize. They don't realize how powerful prayer is. And that's why we have to understand our connection with Yah is why we're being elevated, and why we're going to be sustained, and why we're going to be delivered, and why we're going to be victorious. Because it's our day and time. This is the time of your awakening. Just get it all right. That's why the Siddur started out saying, measure accurately now. Be ashamed of what you've done. Don't think that our people, that everything in life is just based on what you do with each other. It's based on righteous dealings in your home, in your family. I hope that our whole people can get this understanding. Yah will always be with you if you just clean up the way He tells us to do. It starts out, Tetzaveh. Tetzaveh means you shall command, you will command. We're commanded to bring the light. In other words, the oil that kept the candlestick burning, the Israelite community are the ones who had to get that out. That's why everyone had olive trees. Olive trees are all over the land of Israel. Some of the most valuable oil called olive is shipped around the world from Israel. Your olives are being sold on the world market. You have some of the best olives, all these things, the incense, everything that was needed is in our land. You can ask anyone in the world, they'll tell you that the best diet on the earth is called the Mediterranean diet. You are the Mediterranean people. You were given the best diet, a diet from the Creator. You just got to rely on everything else. Let's see what we can learn today from this holy book. You're the holy people. If we don't become the holy people, everything else nullifies. You're an intricate part of the earth and your connection with Yah. Even Mediterranean, look up the word Mediterranean. It means the middle of the earth. Northeast Africa and the land of Israel is in the middle of the earth, meaning the middle of the whole. You're the center of the whole universe. Even the heavens, you're the key because you were chosen to be the people. In earth, you're the one that makes everything goes in Yah's favor, his glory. When you're not in line with him, everything else, that's why you've been punished. That's why we haven't been successful. That's why we can't win. You gotta have Yah on your side. Every black movement, Black Panther Party, I was a teenager. Yah wasn't in that. They lost. Every time you get a black movement and they forget God, they lose every time. You gotta understand where your power rests. I guarantee you, other people, they be going to them false gods, doing them stuff and all that other crazy stuff all around the world. Everybody got orphans and got gods they call on. You got to call on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Even in Africa, no black nation ever went to war without having their king go up being the God that led them. We have Yahweh lead us. That's who leads us now. So we want him to be with all of our leaders, be with our people, and you got to know how to get his favor. May he bless us to obtain that. It begins once again in Exodus 27th chapter, the 20th verse, with these words once again. Shabbat Shalom Lakim. Remember your spirituality. It says,
And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure olive oil beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn continually. The light of Yah cannot burn without you. Today that light is your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. You got to take that everywhere you go. Let your light shine. It's a great light. Let your great light shine. Everywhere, wherever you're doing, make sure your righteousness, your understanding of good and right exudes. In the tent of meeting, without the veil which is before the testimony, Aharon and his son shall set it in order, to burn from evening to morning before Jehovah. He shall be a statute forever throughout their generations on the behalf of the children of Israel. How far in the past was this? This was approximately 1,400 to 1,500 years before we got to the Christian era. David is about 900,000. You go back another 600 years, we're nearly in the wilderness. That's what this is right now. You might say 1,400 years before we went into slavery. And 1,400 years after the modern era is when we went into slavery in the Western Hemisphere, 1492. These are the 1400s before the Christian era, when no foreigner was ruling over us. We was building the house of Yah and we was serving him. When we stopped, 1492 in their time, they ruling over us. We got to go back to Yah, and no one will ever rule over us again. In 28th chapter. And bring down near unto thee Aharon thy brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aharon, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Itamar, Aharon's son. This is the beginning of us being chosen by Yah. He's even chosen out the family of the ones that he wants to be the priests. And here they are. No one has ever changed. The Pope is not recognized by the Almighty. Not as his servant. No preacher. None of that is who he chose. He chose his priests from among you, the children of Israel. The people that went into the diaspora, that's in Jamaica, that's in Trinidad, that's in all these other countries. The Levites among all of us, all through Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. All of them are waking up right now. 1492, and they say 1619. Now they're saying it's the 1900s, 1920. They're saying all over Africa, there's the Lord return. Every African country is welcoming black people in the diaspora. Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, to go back to the Holy Land now, because everybody realized our captivity is coming to an end. We're going back home, and y'all stirring up this earth. He stopped China with a coronavirus. Oh, yeah. If they would be spreading they can't travel like they was traveling before. They can't even send their guts. He's shutting down economies because of you. He loves you. He's just saying, get right, and I'll show you my power.
And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for splendor and for beauty.
Be a beautiful people from the priesthood, and it's a nation of priests. Every one of us should be culturally and beautifully dressed, honorably presented ourselves. We're not thugs and we're not gangsters.
And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they make Aaron's garments to sanctify him, as he may minister unto me in priest's office.
We have the priest's garments today. I don't sew these robes. There's sisters and brothers in Israel, here and abroad, that makes these robes, because we have the skills to be an independent and powerful people.
And these are the garments which they shall make.
When you're free, you got to make everything for yourself. And I'll tell you something, if you understand now, you better start thinking about feeding yourself too.
A breastplate and an apron, and a robe, and a tunic of checkerwork, a mitre and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons.
In other words, these garments were decorative. The priest had a breastplate that was on his chest, and it had 12 stones representing the 12 tribes of Israel. On his shoulders, he had onyx stones, black stones with the names written, Reuben and Shimon and Levi, and again Gad and Reuben, right on down the line. 6 on this, 6 on this, because in the culture of worshiping Yah in his temple, everything centers around the 12 tribes of Israel. You're the center of God's mind. He chose you. You forsook him. You got to understand that's why you haven't been able to rule over yourself. That's why you haven't been the head and you've been the tail, because you haven't been obedient. We're changing that now. Hebrew family of Ghana, you play a very important role in this country and in this earth. You better start putting it together and figuring it out. Your spirituality is the truest spirituality in the land. Nobody can call like you can call. Don't you?
That he may minister unto me in the priest's office.
And I know one thing. If you think presidents don't want people to pray for them, you out of your mind. All presidents, we go to Yah. He guides us in everything. Our leaders have to have the spiritual guidance of the Creator, not some colonial religious stuff that they're talking about. We got to know the true and living Yah. Don't you?
And they shall take the gold and the blue and the purple and the scarlet. And
beautiful royal colors, don't you?
And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue and purple, scarlet and fine twined linen.
The ephod is the total robe. The breastplate is attached to this robe. This is a robe, and many of us have robes on. Some robes, you can button them down. But this robe that Yehova's talking about, the ephod, it has to have a hole in the neck. It has to slip over your head. Because when he puts on the robe, he's putting on the breastplate, the ephod, everything is attached to it. Don't you?
The work of the skillful workman. It shall have 2 shoulder pieces joined to the 2 ends.
2 shoulder pieces with those onyx stones. It's going to describe it. And remember this, you don't have to know all the details. Just have a general understanding of the priest's garment and the type of garment. Do you know the Pope? He's tried to make a garment just like the high priest of Israel. You got to go and look and see his garment and see. He's trying to do it, but he didn't make it exactly that way. But he's trying to say that he's infallible, that he is God's vicar on earth. He can do no wrong. How far away from the truth is that statement? The other day, the Pope was delivering a message in the Vatican, and he started coughing and sneezing, and all the people started backing up. Do you know that they're getting ready to ban services around the world? That you know that games and sports and all those things that bring people together, they're going to start cancer. And just remember, you didn't hear about it Guyana yet, but it's moving around the world. So, you know, COVID-19, official name, coronavirus. They don't know what it is. It's Yah's hand. Because, see, it's all about your immune system. How strong can you fight things? And anything that you catch, your body has to have an immune system to attack it. Once you have a healthy person, you exercise, you eat, and you're living right, your immune system will attack any virus that gets in. There are germs, good germs, all through this air every day. But your body knows how to fight it. You got to have the trust in the Most High. If you think you could get it, you will get it. You can't get it. Just cap that in your mind. Your body sends the message to your immune system. Your mind controls everything. You can't get it. Your whole is protecting you. You can protect you from everything. Things seen and unseen.
That it may be joined together, and a skillfully woven band, which is upon it, wherewith to gird it on, shall be like the work thereof, and of the same piece, of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined.
As I've said, not a separate garment. One garment. Put on the robe, you have the effort, the judgment, breastplate of judgment, everything is on there.
And thou shalt take 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the names of the children of Israel.
That's the ones that I told you, onyx stones are black stone. You know how gold and black, how beautiful that is. The priest is carrying the nation of Israel on his shoulders when he goes into the house of Yah, especially on Yom Kippur, when he goes into the Holy of Holies. He wears this garment really once in the year.
6 of their names on the one stone, and the names of the 6 that remain on the other stone, according to their birth.
According to the birth. Look how important you are to the Most High. That your ancestors' names are connected in the house of Yah and on the garment of the high priest of Israel. With the work of an engraver in stone.
Like the engravings of a signet.
So that means we had skilled people that could do grafting. We were not uncivilized and savages. We had skills. We wore beautiful colors. We made them civilized. You don't know history? They were the ones in the caves and walking around eating out of skulls. We civilized them. And it's just truthful history. It's not racist. You were, and Africa and Asia were civilized empires before any European nation ever arose in the earth. And they know it, and we know it.
Shalt thou engrave the 2 stones, according to the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be enclosed in settings of gold.
1,500 years before we were doing this, beautiful, dressed up. We were not naked. We came here naked. We weren't naked in Africa. They did that to make you think you were savages. They took your clothes off you and stripped you naked and put you in the boat.
Thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulder pieces of the ephod, to be stones of memorial for the children of Israel.
Yes.
And Aaron shall bear their names before Jehovah upon his 2
He's
shoulders.
He's telling you how this is to be attached to the robe and to the breastplate. It's going to explain it more. Chains are going to be connected from the shoulder piece down to the breastplate. Here is a girdle belt that he has to tie around him to make sure that everything stays in place.
And thou shalt make settings of gold, 2 chains of pure gold.
These are the chains that in the military. Sarah, you can help me with that name. What's those chains that those officers wear when they have those breathing chains around? Okay? I'm not hearing you clearly. Lanyard? So again, that's the chain. They have an official name for it. But where did they get it? You've seen the police officers. You've seen the guys in the military. Those things on. That tells you they're men of rank. This is to let you know Aaron is the highest ranked person amongst the priesthood. His garment tells you it. Same thing with peace officers. Now you go in the army, you see the policemen, they got stripes. But when you see the person that has that ribbon and that chain around their shoulder, and if they got them on both, they're very important people in the army or the military worldwide. They know. Where did they get the understanding? We never gave them nothing. We gave them everything they're doing. They pulled it out of our heritage, a little here, a little there, and made their culture.
Of plaited thread shalt thou make them, of wreathen work, and thou shalt put the wreathen chains on the setting.
We call it braids. They call it plaited hair. I remember when they used to call Hodiah and them the plaited hair boys. Because when we got here, nobody had their hair braided. Very few could count them on one hand. They used to laugh at my son. Sometimes they would say, is he a boy or a girl? I said, you don't know how to tell that. See, there's a way you can tell a boy or a girl, but you can't look at the head. You can't, the hair don't tell you that. So again, I used to make them look stupid because I said, no, those are boys. But now, look all over Guyana. Every school got children with braided hairs in there. I like to feel that I helped start it because I had my braids too. I made sure my children, somebody used to say, it hurt! You're getting it braided anyway. That's right, because we had to get your hair braided because that was part of the culture of my family. Even they had earrings, I put an earring in the ear. I still got my hole. I can put my earring anytime I want to, put it in there because it represented you were black and we were proud to be black. And that's what it said. You got to understand, it's called proud of who you are.
And thou shalt make a breastplate of judgment, the work of a skillful workman. Like the work of the ephod shall thou make.
Breastplate of judgment, this is what he has on his chest. Now it's going to speak about the stones. Why 12 stones? Why didn't it have some number that didn't represent Israel? You're the 12 tribes of Israel. All over the internet, black people are waking up and going online and saying, I'm an Israelite, I'm a Hebrew, because the knowledge is all in Ghana. Everybody's saying now with the return to Africa, it's opening people's minds. Why are they going back to West Africa? They're saying all the dungeons where the slaves went came out of Ghana, came out of Nigeria, came out of the West Coast. So now we're making, now the other question, well, who are the people in the West Coast? Are they not the Hebrews? Are they not called Hebrewism in West Africa? That's because all of West Africa are Israelites. Ivory Coast, Senegal, Mali, Benin, Togo, Nigeria, Ghana, even South Africa. Some of the Israelites didn't all go to West Africa, some of them in the Central, some of them in the South. That's why Tanzania, that was the first stop coming down from North Africa. We stopped there first. That's why you have a lot of Israelites in Tanzania. That's East Africa. But Bantu and all of them, you follow the languages, they all go back to the Hebrew people. See, the connection to who we are is the global awakening that's happening on the planet, because now we're going back to Yah. Because when we all start calling on Yah, which many of us are doing, we're changing the planet right now. Just by doing the little that we're doing. Imagine if all Israel start serving them in, you would change this whole planet around overnight.
Of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen shall thou make it.
Beautiful colors. You know these fine twined linen? You know linen is a nice soft color, soft material. Beautiful, cooling. Then you have all these royal colors of Egypt, purple and blue and scarlet and gold. We were, that don't say that you poor. We were rich, we were prosperous, and we're going to be rich and prosperous in the future.
It shall be and double. A span shall be the length thereof, and span the breadth.
Let's assume this is a piece of cloth that is now going to be folded into a square. So now we see it has to be 9 inches on all sides. If you see I got an opening right here, what they did is they put the stones and set them down inside. Then this breastplate was sewed back together, but you can see the stones on it. So therefore, there was some mysterious lights that people think. It was called an Urim and a Thummim. These different color stones, red, purple, different greens and blues, blacks and other colors, they all gave off a light that the priest could know an answer from Yah. That's why it was called an Urim and a Thummim, because they could divine, they could get signals from Yah off of the high priest's breastplate. Even in David's time, he sought it to get to the ephod with a Abiathar to find out, should he go up to war or should he not go up to war? Yah would always give us the answer.
And thou shalt set in settings of stones, 4 rows of stones.
So in each row, there's going to be 4 rows of stones. Everybody know that 4 times 3 or 3 times 4 is 12.
A row of carnelian, topaz, and smaragd shall be the first row.
And that tells you maybe what tribe you might be from. You just go down the tribes. And these stones, the colors vary because they're trying to look at ancient Hebrew words for colors and come up with a modern stone. They may not be accurate in every case. We probably got to do more research on this when we go to see the stones. Or in countries like this, they're called Jews. The Jews don't only go looking for gold. They want diamonds, because diamonds is one of the stones here. These are precious stones. That's why the world and we had the places where diamonds was. We were introduced to precious stones before they got out the caves, but they control all the stones in the world now. They set the market for all these, what these values. And let's remember this, certain stones give off spiritual vibrations. They have certain stones that they know that actually give off spiritual vibrations. That's why people get stones they call crystals. There's certain stones that help balance your body and all of that. There's things that's not known about these stones that only Yah. And when he take us back, he'll reveal some of the knowledge that we've lost about why he chose these things. We lost a lot of spiritual power and getting separated from Yah. That's why we got to understand we got to get back so he can. How do you think Moses could open up a sea? He had to have some spiritual connection, power. That's why it is. You got to get back that power. Come see.
And the second row, a carbuncle, a sapphire, and an emerald. And the third row, a jasper, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper.
Yes, every different stones. You got to know your stone. That's what you say, well, I want to learn more about being myself Israelite. A lot of people call them their birthstones. Even all around the world, people go in the shops, say, I want to buy my birthstone, I want a ring. What would you ask for? Your birthstone was given to you thousands of years in a tribe. You know what it is? That's part of why you're developing yourself as an Israelite. Don't think that you can just learn all of this in a day. What's your Hebrew birthday? I bet you know your English birthday. You know the day that you was born on the Gentile calendar. Do you know the month of your Hebrew date birthday? That's why you can search more. Don't give up. Don't become complacent and think this is it. Come see.
They shall be enclosed in gold in their settings.
Meaning make them beautiful borders. Enclosed means these are not going to fall out the effort. They had to have an enclosure so that once it's sewed, it ain't going to fall inside the effort and it's not going to fall outside on the ground. Next thing I know, I lost one of my precious stones. They're made in a way that they cannot fall out. Enclosed, that's what it means.
And the stone shall be according to the names of the children of Israel.
I didn't write it. The Most High said according to your names.
12, according to their names.
Now I know why they don't want to read the Old Testament. They want to read the New Testament only, because when you start reading the Old Testament, you find more about us than they care for us to know.
Like the engravings of a signet, every one according to his name. They shall be for the 12 tribes.
12 tribes of Israel. I know when they hear that in Jamaica. If a Rastafari was in here and said 12 Farai, they said, Rastafari! Yeah, they would know right away. That's us, the 12 tribes of Israel. One day we're all going to know it's not Rastafari, it's Hebrew Israelites. 12 tribes of Israel. Some of them are called Rasta because we're coming back from different paths. Some of them are called Messianics. We're coming from all directions because we were scattered in all directions. It's naturally understandable we'll be coming back. But one day we're going to have one understanding that we all are Yah's children.